know why. Did you put in the WOW code?
Yeah, it was WOW. Didn't you say it was WOW?
WOW.
Yeah, WOW.
Yeah. I don't know why. I'll walk you through it.
Yeah, we'll help you afterwards. All right, Robin. So I'm gonna make you the host, and we'll hit the record when you guys are ready. All right, all right, Robin.
Okay, I'm here for you. Whenever everybody's ready. Shannon, we're still waiting for a couple more people, right?
Yeah, can we just give it 2 more minutes? I know we have more people coming for sure.
Absolutely not a problem. So there are a couple of new people that just came on, and we have a new WOW member this evening that I'd like to introduce you to. So Betsy, I'd like to introduce you to the team. If you would just talk about yourself for a minute and say howdy.
Sure. I'm a licensed interior designer in California and in Florida. And I transform the soul of a space. And how I do that is through walking through the process initially with clientele and getting a sense of who they are and what their needs are, and trying to discover together what their vision is for a space and what it should be, or what they think it should be, or what I think it should be, and trying to meld all of those ideas together. And I also help them understand what it is to work with an interior designer, what that process is at the beginning, so that they understand. Because most people don't. If you've never worked with them before, it's a whole new ballgame. And then I'd like to say that my superpower is being able to walk into a space and to be able to visualize it completely and see what it should be, kind of described for people, and, through visual aids and also verbally showing them what it can be. And then I begin the process, and I take it straight through to the end. I do all the procurement. Anything's custom designed, I do that, drapery treatments, millwork, whatever needs to take place. And then we implement it and get it installed and work out all the problems along the way on the back end that nobody knows about. Or hopefully they don't know about.
Awesome. So yeah, no, we had a great one-to-one this afternoon. So I highly recommend that you give her a call. So Shannon, now of course we have the slowpoke Paul coming in.
Traffic update brought to you by Volvo Cars White Plains, where you get a different car shopping experience. They're more than just a Volvo dealer. They're your local Volvo retailer. They love serving their.
Somebody has the radio on in the back.
WhitePlains.com.
We've got some delays, Andy.
There we go. Okay, so Shannon, who else are we waiting for?
Paul's having audio issues, but we can let me see. I think that about does it. Well, maybe 1 or 2 more people, but mostly everybody. Steve, Mike, Jim, and Maria's on too.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that should be it. And then Paul.
All right, so Paul Feigenbaum.
Yes.
Why don't you minimize your screen for a minute so we can just start the record, and we can introduce Shannon can introduce you.
There we go. We're good.
And we can start.
Okay, how do I minimize it? Let me just see what I can do.
Just go back to your just stop share screen. There you go. Okay, so
Couldn't do
Shannon,
it.
you ready for me to Mr. Pablet? Welcome. Look at those gorgeous Q codes. So Shannon, are we ready to start the recording?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the WOW Real Estate Group. Super excited to have you all learn about a very important topic about mortgage insurance and saving for a mortgage. And I'm gonna, our gracious presenter tonight is Paul, and he is going to talk to us about some very important wealth building solutions for getting prepared to buy a home. So Paul, whenever you are ready, you can take it away, and it's all yours.
Okay. I'm trying to get to, I'm getting. There it is. There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Tonight's presentation is actually based on both balancing your assets, dealing with the balance between your income, your debt, your expenses, what you're trying to achieve, and how you can protect yourself should things not go properly or according to schedule.
Paul, I just want to stop you for 1 second. We're seeing a blue screen.
Yeah, it's all black on my end.
Okay, so hold on. You're not seeing me?
We're not, no, we're not seeing your first slide. You probably, there
Oh,
you
there we
go.
No, that's it.
No, but it's not, you're losing the bottom of it. And then, now we're back to a blank screen.
Hold on.
Nope.
Well, I'm in the. It says your screen sharing is paused. How did we get it unpaused? So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go back in and share.
Try it
'Cause
again.
said
Try it again. I just,
sharing.
Okay.
there you go.
That's better.
There we go.
Okay, so you got me?
Yes.
I got you.
You're good.
Okay, let me go back to the beginning. All right. So Paul Feigenbaum, the information provided just for specific legal and tax issues is just general information. We're not here to give specific advice. And any individual who would like some advice, please contact me afterwards. Okay, so the concept is, what is financial well-being? And as the screen says, the ability to have control over the daily and monthly of your finances, having the capacity to absorb a financial shock, being on track to meet your financial goals, which means actually putting together milestones and then looking at if you're on schedule, and having the financial freedom to make choices that allow you to enjoy your life. So one of the things I want to talk about, and this is a great agenda, is to assess your income, track your spending, understanding expenses, but also categorizing them, staying within a budget, and preparing for the unexpected. Now I'm going to see if I can pull up this screen. Can you see the balance between saving and debt? Hello?
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay. This screen is extremely helpful. What it does is it starts to show you that there are both good practices that you can use, such as building up savings, good habits, priorities, taking advantage of compound interest. And at the same time, you want to minimize your ongoing or existing debt. Now, the top of the screen has an incredibly important message. When you're paying down debt, and this is so important, it might seem like you want to just focus only on that area, but it's important to make progress towards growing your savings as well. In other words, if you spend all your time paying off debt and you have nothing accumulated, that can also work against you towards retirement. So saving regularly now means you'll have a larger foundation to build from later and a cushion to help you. So I want to go back to the PowerPoint for the rest of my presentation. I can get this to work. Okay. It is not doing it. I'm a little surprised. Okay, I do apologize. We rehearsed this 5 times and now it's not letting me. Okay, so I'll do this manually. Your financial goals should be set up in such a way that they are specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, and time-bound. Now, specific simply means whether you're buying a home or saving for children's college education, or for retirement, you want to categorize what each goal is set up identifiable steps to achieve your goals, and then again, use milestones. Where do I want to be in the first month, 6 months, 1 year, etc., to achieve each of your goals? Your financial goals should also address a balance between what you want and what your concerns. Often it helps to list and then prioritize your financial obstacles, because there's nothing wrong with saying, I want to have vacations, I want a new car, but I also have to pay my bills and save for retirement. So once you've prioritized your goals, try to adjust your spending patterns accordingly. Take into account the needs of yourself, your family, your community, and your career. 4 years ago, I reached out to the American College and enrolled in their retirement income certified professional program. And I learned more achieving this designation than I did in my previous 20 years in my industry. With respect to hobbies, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying your life, twice a week, I personally make the time to go to the gym. Some people ski, some people play golf, and others that specialize in shopping. Everyone has their own desires. So I want to ask a quick question at this point. Does anyone at this point have a question they'd like to ask me? So I'm going to actually stop sharing for 1 second and say, does anyone have a question at this point they'd like to ask me? Because I've gone over a few topics already. Okay. I'll go back to screen sharing. Okay, I finally got it to restart. What I want to do now is talk about a concept that most people don't talk about. How many people are actively working on boosting their income? And this is a very, very simple example. The first case, we have a 30-year-old male who earns $75,000 a year. Every year he receives a 2% annual raise. And by the time he reaches retirement, he will have earned $4 million. But in the second scenario, I have a 30-year-old also starting at $75,000, but who merits a 5% annual raise. And by the time he reaches retirement, he's saved over $7.5 million. So to quote the late Jim Rohn, who was a phenomenal motivational speaker, you need to work as hard on yourself as you do on your job. And that is an amazing concept. Most people, they go to work every day, they do what they do, but how many people take the time to work on themselves? So now that we've talked about goals, priorities, and income, I'd like to talk about the impact from one's existing debt. 25 years ago, a close friend of the family applied for an $80,000 home equity loan. Only that person had over $40,000 of credit card debt. The loan officer said, I will only approve the loan if you take $120,000. And everyone said, why? He said, you're going to pay off all your credit cards. You're going to cut up all your credit cards except one. You're going to watch how you spend money in the future. And this way, your budget won't get out of control. And like most of us 25 years ago, we went over to that machine and we slid the card back and forth. The person made just charged everything, made the minimum payment every month. And it's amazing how loans and debt get away from us. I still meet occasionally people with $10,000 in the bank and over $30,000 of credit card debt. And they don't realize that every year the interest on that debt is almost as much as they've saved in the bank. And that's really scary. So a great idea is, let's classify your debt. Rank your debt by which has the highest interest rates, which have the smallest balances, and can you restructure your debt so you're not exactly paying 29%, but if you can get it down to 11 or 12%, that can make a huge impact. So once you've addressed your debt and considered your investing and saving strategies, here's a very simple rule of thumb. Money now, money later, and money in retirement. And the key is, what types of money should be used towards the purchase of a home? And interestingly enough, quite a few articles I've read on the subject have said, don't use your retirement or IRA money. While the first $10,000 of IRA money can be used without penalty towards the purchase of a home, it's still subject to income tax. What's more, $10,000 doesn't exactly go very far, and it could eventually reduce your retirement plan. However, a Roth IRA might be very different. In this case, all of your contributions plus the first $10,000 can be removed towards the payment of a home. So if a couple saves up for 5 years, they might come up with 50, 60, maybe $100,000 towards the purchase of that home. And that again can be a significant situation. So I want to address some of the pitfalls. What can go wrong? And nearly 50% of all foreclosures are not due to the economy. They're due to a disability. Now, often, especially in the blue collar markets, the disability occurs from their off the books second job, which is usually more labor intensive, like someone who's working behind the bar, working in a restaurant, doing physical and manual labor. But if you get disabled on the second job, you lose your first job too. So it always pays to remember you are your most valuable asset. A car might require $40,000 of after-tax income. A home, although not those numbers don't reflect Nassau County, may cost $385,000, but your lifetime income is going to be many times greater. Now, while this slide says 1.5 million, 3 slides ago, I showed you a gentleman getting a 5% raise each year, earning over $7.5 million over their career. So your most important asset, your cash machine, is yourself. So again, let's go back to the person earning that $75,000 a year. Maybe they're saving 5%, $4,000. But their annual expenses are $4,000 a month. So they're earning $75,000 and they're spending $48,000. They're only saving $5,000. If that person were to be disabled, they would wipe out between 12 and 13 years of savings. If that person were wiped out for disabled for 3 years, they'd wipe out a whole lifetime of savings. And for those of you who don't remember, when the federal government shut down in 2019 for just 2 pay periods, 1 month, 1 million people claimed they could not make their mortgage payments because they didn't have the money saved. So I used to do a show and I would have a banner out in front as one of the subjects to discuss with the clients. And my banner used to say, how many people can afford to take a 2-year unpaid vacation? That's all it said. And at the bottom, it said disability income. So income protection is a critically important part of a program. For those of you who are wondering, what's the big picture? Imagine you earn $100,000 a year and you get disabled and your salary goes to zero, versus earning $100,000 a year and paying $1,500. Could be a little less, could be more, depending on your health, your life, your gender, and your risk category. Paying $1,500 a year, on a premium. Now, if you're disabled, we might pay up to $1.5 million until you can return to work. So you almost have to say to yourself, do I have a safety net in place? The last subject I want to talk about is life insurance. Life insurance is a financial product that provides a death benefit to the beneficiary if the insured passes away. The use of life insurance can be for income replacement, which almost no one thinks of, debt elimination, or paying off future expenses. I want to give you a very brief story. For those of you who remember the television show MASH, there was a character, Charles Emerson Winchester III. And I met a real life Charles Emerson Winchester III a dozen years ago at a boat show at Tobay Beach. He walked over to me, said, do you sell term life insurance? I said, absolutely. He said, I'd like to buy $500,000. I said, what for? And he very simply said, I want to cover my mortgage. Now, I knew where he lived. He already told me his salary, and I could never afford to where he lived. But I asked him one question, because his wife was staying at home, raising 3 kids. I said, if you pass away, heaven forbid, we pay off the mortgage, who's paying the property taxes? And you had to see the look come over his face. And all I asked him is, what does it cost to live in your house? And he told me it cost about $10,000 a month just to cover the mortgage, the taxes, utilities, and food on the table, nothing else. I said, so it sounds like you need $100,000 a year. Well, there's a great rule of thumb. There are 20 nickels to a dollar. So if you're getting 5% on your money, you need $2 million to throw off $100,000. And he wrote the check on the spot. It never occurred to him because most people learn about growing money like in a bank account or an investment, but most people never learn about distributing money. How do you take an asset and turn it into an income? So there are really two types of life insurance. There's term. Term insurance is for a limited block of time. It's very inexpensive during that block of time. But when it's over, you're done. Permanent insurance is saying, I'm going to charge you many times as much, but at the end of 20 years, either the policy will pay for itself or you can cash out and get your money back. The problem is that a lot of people buy term insurance in their 30s and 40s, 20 years later buy another plan. And 2 months ago, I dealt with a 75-year-old gentleman who was looking to buy 10 years of term life insurance. And when I told him the premium, the conversation ended because it's not designed for someone who's 75. The trap, however, is that, and this is something true about my industry, until 25 years ago, if you bought term, the price went up every year. But if you were a 22-year-old track star and a 68-year-old diabetic, you kept your health rating. But starting 25 years ago, we started coming up with a 10, 20, 30-year model where it's a fixed price for a block of time. But at the end of this 30 years, you have to requalify. So if you're in good health at 28, 30, 40 even, but you're not healthy at 60, you're not going to get coverage. So we often suggest if permanent life insurance is too expensive, find a blend. Little term, little whole life, where over time, the term even can be converted into permanent coverage. This way, you're staying within a budget, but at the end of 30 years, you have something to show for it. I want to thank you for your time today. I wanted to go over concepts such as dealing with the cost of getting a mortgage, qualifying it with your other expenses, prioritizing your goals, enjoying your life, paying down your debt, but putting safety nets in place when, not if, something goes wrong. So I want to thank you again for your time. And I'm going to stop sharing at this moment. Does anyone have any final questions or any ideas that my presentation brought up?
Well, thank you, Paul. You know, there's a lot of information, and actually it brought up a question for me for Shannon, because it's been a very long time since I applied for a mortgage. When people are applying for a mortgage, is mortgage insurance something that comes up in the application for a mortgage? Is that a question that ever gets asked by the financial institution?
Mortgage insurance is code for decreasing term. At some point, especially in New York State, they were not allowed to ask that question. Just like for certain other types of loans where, to me, that would make sense to do so. And for instance, if you have two middle-aged gentlemen or ladies, later in life, they started a business. It was always their dream. They're 50-ish. They're applying, and I'm not making numbers up, for let's say $5 million for a 5 or 10-year note. They qualify. They have a great business plan. But if they're paying $5 million over 10 years, that's $2.5 million each has to come up with. That's $250,000 each year each has to come up with. That's $20,000 a month each has to come up with. And I would say to advisors or accountants or attorneys, shouldn't they spend $400 or $500 a month on top of the $20,000? So if either partner dies, the loan's paid off. And everyone says that's a great idea, and no one ever does it. So you have to say to yourself, mortgage insurance is a form of term insurance. They're not allowed to require it, but it often makes sense to do so. But the problem is, at some point, usually in your 50s or 60s, that term ends and you have to requalify for new coverage. And I have a client now who I went through this. About 15, 16 years ago, I inherited then a lady who had bought a 20-year term. She had 5 years, 6 years left on her 20-year term. And I politely said, you can continue to, it was so cheap, it was free. She was paying like $40 a month for $250,000 term, and when it was free. I said at the end of 20 years, even a 15-year-old term, because she'd be 62, would take her out to 77 for like $95 a month. A 20-year term, because she was now in year 15, would be $62 a month. Take you out to 77. She said, why would I pay $60 when I'm paying 40? I'm never going to do that. Call me when my 20 years are up. And as God is my witness, 1 month before the 20 years were up, 1 month, her son called me, Mom has lung cancer. What can I do? Mom was a smoker in her 20s. Mom, 5 years ago, decided she needed that term and is now paying over $300 a month because the price went like this and up. There's nothing I can do for her. So a lot of people don't realize at some point we all outlive our health. I've already had 2 life-threatening issues. I'm here, I'm fine. Most people by 60 have issues, even by 50. Did I answer your
Thank you for
question?
the, James, I'm seeing you, shake your head as well. So Shannon, I do think that it would be a good idea at this point, because we do have some new people and I haven't seen Maria for a while and I'm so happy to be here. So why don't we go around and introduce each other? Everybody knows who I am. That's boring already. Marlon, why don't we start with you?
All right. Good evening, everyone. Marlon Pena. I am the credit mogul. I help people that have bad credit, get them into good credit. Of course, I do the counseling, the education, which is key. That's important to know why someone's credit is being affected. And I'm always open for consultation. So I'm here, I'm available. Of course, their information is right there on the screen. And yeah, I'm here. Next up.
Thank you. Betsy.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm a licensed interior designer in Florida and California, transforming the soul of a space, any space. About almost 2 years ago, I did my first yacht project. So that was very exciting and very unique and challenging in many ways, like when the tide is high or low and you have to get on the boat. So, but that was a great project. I generally have higher end clientele. Interior design is a luxury for many people. So, but I walk people through the process and determine whether the fit is good. And, if once they understand what it's like to work with a designer, then it's a good thing.
All right, thank you. Well, and well, again, this is Betsy's first day in WOW, and she's been wowing all day long.
Yeah.
we haven't left her off Zoom yet. Mike.
Yep. How's everybody doing? My name is Mike. I'm the owner and operator of Simple Truth Home Inspections here on Long Island. Obviously doing home inspections. So if anybody's purchasing a house and looking for a home inspector, that's what I do.
Great, thank you. Shannon.
Good evening, everybody. I think I know most of you. Thank you for everyone I invited last minute. I really appreciate your support. I can help you get in your first home, your vacation property, or investment. I can finance 1 to 4 family. If it's over that, or if it's commercial, we do have a commercial division as well. So people are still buying houses, people. Still happening.
Absolutely. And Shannon, you're with?
Oh, Jovia Financial Credit Union, sorry.
We haven't gotten your new background yet. Juan's still working on that. Steve.
Yeah, hi, everybody. Steve with Gotham Building. It's funny that we have the speaker here now. I was just speaking with the financial advisor, and I was not aware of the 10-year whole life as an option. I'd say that most people don't. But that's kind of what I deal with in the construction industry is people who don't know the process from design throughout, and then afterwards, that's what we do is we help them out, make sure they have someone sticking up for them, and I think that's about it.
All right, awesome, thanks. James, good to see you.
Good to be seen. Good evening, Mal. Well, I definitely agree with everything that Paul was saying. I do aging issues management, so I'm doing financial planning for people as they're managing the different issues they get when they're older. It really ties into real estate because one of the most important issues you have to really look at after the age of 50 is where you're going to live. Are you going to stay in your house? Is it going to be your forever home? There's certain adjustments have to be made to make it safe for you as you go through the 4 stages of retirement. Paul's right on with, as you get older, you have to have a plan, right? You have to have an insurance plan. You need to have a long-term care plan. And another thing, totally agree with is we're never taught how to distribute money, right? And that's also extremely important, right? As you have to make a plan for the 4 different stages of retirement. So.
All right, thanks, James. Paul Pablett.
Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Pablett with Apollo 3D. We actually are a technology company helping architects, engineers, contractors, and pretty much real estate agents visualize spaces. We do 3D architectural renders down to Matterport 3D tours, pretty much everything that's 3D and digital. I'm the go-to guy. I'm very grateful to have actually met Paul at another presentation a few months ago, which is where this whole thing started. This invitation started. It was actually at the Miller Business School Center. And he gave a phenomenal presentation. And now what I learned something great today. I didn't think about the concept of a 2 policies, of a hybrid policy with term and then like a pretty much a permanent policy, which is very creative, especially if you're structuring a policy and you're on a budget. Well, that's very enlightening. And I'm grateful that Paul actually was able to kind of like give that little valuable nugget of information, because now actually I'm going to share that with family members that are actually curious about how to kind of like do this. And this has been very beneficial for me. Thank you so much, Paul.
Well, I was going to say, if you didn't like my presentation, Paul invited me and blame him, but
Yeah, it goes when all those Pauls stick together. Maria Anamanelli,
Right.
how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Robin. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for inviting me, Shannon. Sorry, I missed you last week.
Okay.
It's just been crazy. So, yep, people are buying houses. So I'm a real estate agent here on Long Island, New York. I service areas in Queens, the Bronx today, Brooklyn. So I'm all over the place, Suffolk, Nassau. And yeah, it's a busy market, and a lot of people are skeptical because of interest rates, but I think people are coming back out. They realize that they're paying rent and it doesn't make sense for them. So I think it's going to be a busy spring market. What do you think, Shannon?
Yep, it's been busier. It's certainly busier already than it was last month. I can see the natural uptick. Usually people get their tax return money back around this time, and they weather starts getting a little warmer, although not today, but in general, and we're starting to go into spring, and people are like, all right, well, I'm tired of renting. Let's just start looking now, seriously.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's crazy. I got a call yesterday and she's like, I have my pre-approval. I'm ready to go. And it was my first Google call. So I was very excited from my Google
love those.
website. I know. So people are looking and it's
It's happening.
You have to be
It's-
out there because we compete, there's 50,000 real estate agents in New York, and at least. And I'm sure the same thing goes for home inspectors, insurance people, finance. So what I would recommend to everybody, and travel agents and interior designers and everybody here. So just be, just do videos, be out there, be on social media. Eventually something's going to stick. I've been doing the same video, Maria's Monday Market update every week. And I absolutely hate watching it, but people watch it and people, you know what? I just do it and put it out there. It's not a professional, it doesn't look like, it's not done by a professional. It's just me doing a video of myself. And you know what? I've gotten business from it. Not a lot, but people think of me. So
Your colleague Kenny, I met him at an event. He says he refuses to watch any of his videos. He says to Maria, I tell Maria, just post it. I don't want to watch it. Just post it.
so yeah, we've been doing videos. Like he wants to do it with me because he doesn't want to do it by himself. But I said, you have, so we do videos together too. I said, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. But
Well, so is that the Kenny that is hiding behind his picture over here on our screen?
no, that's somebody else. So
Oh, okay, so
I don't know.
Kenny, you want to introduce yourself?
Going on mute.
He's on mute. Normally I have my fancy sign that that I love. I don't know, this makes so many people laugh. I don't really know why.
It's just unexpected. It's just unexpected.
And it's really interesting. My daughter just moved to Hoboken. Oh God, we're the only ones in the family left in New York. And she and her boyfriend are paying, brace yourself, for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's okay.
Wait, look, can I guess?
Please.
4,500, 4,500. More than
No.
that?
They're paying $47.95.
I was
Wait a minute.
close.
However, and I never in my life paid that for a mortgage payment.
Ooh,
Right? Like that was never an issue.
Tell her to buy a house.
Well, that's what I
Crazy.
said. Well, they just moved in, so let you know. But the point that I'm making is that you start looking at that amount of money that it's, you look at in the 30-year-olds. And Paul, this is a big issue because they're not thinking about like that millennial age. They're not thinking about the future. They're thinking about what's in the bank, what they have, how they're going to handle it, but they're not thinking about later on that for $4,500 a month, they could have had a yard and a cat and and all that other stuff, the good stuff that goes with it.
54,000 a year.
oh, that hurts.
Yeah,
no,
it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy.
It's a mortgage payment.
It really is, and it's just very interesting. And I had this conversation earlier about what with the younger, with that generation, that 30-year-old generation is not doing all the things that you're talking about. They're not looking to the future. And it's a lot cheaper and a lot more cost efficient, I believe, to start doing it at 35 than it is to start doing it at 45 and 55.
Absolutely.
So, that's awesome. So if anybody else has anything else to share this evening, Shannon, anything coming up? Do we know who the speaker is for next month?
We do. It's our own Mr. Mike Bernier, I believe. Right, Mike? He's probably like, wait, what?
Wow.
The house.
That's exactly what I'm like.
Oh yeah. Like, wait a minute. Like, don't worry, you have a whole month to prepare. You'd be great. You'd be great. We got to hear about home inspections and how to get the house ready and what you look for. That's like a huge topic. Maria is definitely gonna attest to that. And from a real estate perspective, you're a very important person. You're gonna make or break the deal.
That's it. I'll throw something together.
Yeah, and I'm not really worried.
Is everybody on social media like where we could follow each other on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Or-
so if everybody also could put their information in the chat, real quick, because we will keep, we will get a copy of the chat, and just like on a regular, our daily WOW meetings, we're going to put this out there, and it's good to see everybody. I'm so thankful for the support. And there's just exciting stuff coming, and converse with each other, and definitely, just keep coming to WOW. And if there's anything that you need, Juan and I are always here for all of you, and keep inviting your friends. And and thank you again to Paul Feigenbaum for a terrific presentation. A lot of information, a lot of things to think about for so many people.
Thank you,
I
Paul.
thank you for pronouncing my name correctly.
Just a quick question for Paul. For the whole life, is that tax-free? Or you get
death
taxed on
benefit-
it?
There's two answers. The death benefit is always tax-free, provided Congress and the courts came up with a weird situation. If mom is the owner and dad is the insured, and anyone other than mom is the beneficiary, the IRS said it's now a gift. But from normal situations, it's 100% tax-free, and I just covered my you-know-what. The cash value, if you put in 100,000, the first 100,000, if you pull it out, is always tax-free. But the trick is if you borrow against the policy, the IRS says, well, then you intend to keep it. So they never, it's like the old Price is Right. If there's $1 left, you can buy the car. If you pull out 99% of the money from a policy, but it's still in force, you never pay income tax. So there's a way, so the death benefit is income tax free, could be subject to estate tax. And as long as you pull the money out using their, staying within the double yellow lines, you never pay income tax on the money you pull out either.
Okay, great. Thank you. So
you.
everybody have an amazing evening. Thank you for winning on Wednesday all day long. We appreciate you. Looking forward to seeing you all next week. And Mike, we're looking forward to hearing your presentation next month. Have a great night, everybody. I'm
Thank
going to
you.
stop the
Thank you, everybody,
recording.
for
Thank you,
coming.
everybody. Have a good
Oh,
night.
Thank you.
Robin,
Yes.
can you just stay on with me and maybe I was able to log on.
Sure. Perfect. Absolutely.
And
Robin.
is this,
I was just gonna ask the same question.
There you go. Absolutely. So there is, well, give me a second.
right.
I'm going to open up my Q app.
We gotta hold
so-
Robin here for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hold
No worries. So
Because if
basically,
now
Betsy, there you go. You are already in my app.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is I am now going to add the connection.
Okay.
So Marlon, we're going to do you again. So
Yep.
Maria, we're doing the Q apps. So Betsy, what you have to do is you have to approve me.
okay,
Okay, so Marlon, you're
Same,
gonna pull
right?
up yours again.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
You need my code?
Pull up your Q code,
Okay.
all right, and hold it up so I can
Yep.
see your
Where
Q
am I
code.
you? And
And then we'll work on, so what'll happen if you, Betsy, if you can email me your 6-digit code, then the number that's over your Q code, on your phone. Okay, Marlon, let's get me your Q.
Can you see it good?
Hold it up against,
Let me see. Okay.
you hold it back a little bit, but there you go. Let's see. You gotta hold it back because it's blurry. Let's see. If you hold it back over here next to you.
Maybe it's the lighting or something.
I think it's your lighting, something, there's a wonky.
1 second. Is it a little better there? A little better there?
Almost, put it forward a little bit more, maybe.
Look. Check it out.
here it is.
I'm checking it out. I'm checking it. It's almost, come on.
Get it?
No, it's for some reason, I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on a second. I'm gonna see whether if I do it this way. It disappeared.
Yeah, it disappeared. It has to go like to
Oh,
focus.
yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's
cool.
gotta get into focus.
So you do it for everybody, the QR code?
Yeah, so no, what you're gonna do is, if you download the Q app, it's on the website. For some reason, it's the focus. Let's see if I do it back. Nope, that was Shannon. It picked up Shannon's. That's how sensitive
Oh,
it is.
this is pretty
At least it works.
It does work. I went into.
No, it works. It works great. So you know what? This is the story. Marlon, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Send me that 6-digit code on you.
Mhm.
All right, for you, it'll put me in, and then I'm gonna create a background for
Oh,
you.
wait, Shannon's doesn't work.
Shannon's, okay, so Maria, you have to download the Q app,
No, but Paul's worked.
but Paul's works only for Q. Yeah, do you have the Q
Oh,
app
okay.
on your phone?
No.
Okay, you
I'm
need to
taking I'm
download
taking
the
a
Q
screenshot.
app.
Okay.
You need to download the Q app. So Betsy, did you see that in your app that it said that I requested?
Let me see.
Shannon's got the giggles.
Sorry. I am delirious. I've been up so early. It has been crazy this week.
Okay, so what happened is, so what ends up happening is that after you get the queue, you go down and it says add connection. And then what will happen is that Shannon will get a text in her queue app that says Robin is requesting you.
Okay. I can't find the Q app, but I'll look.
Yeah,
But
don't,
do you
and
think
all
a
you
lot
have
of
to,
people-
honestly, if you hold on a second, I'm gonna make this so easy for all of you.
Yeah, make
Hold
it
on.
easy, make it easy.
Gonna make something so easy for you.
Our
But
brains
do
are fried,
people
Robin.
have the Q app? Is this something
So
people have?
yeah, so Maria, you haven't been on for a while, so
so-
that could be why. So what I'm gonna do I'm gonna do this. That's not what I wanted. What do I want? I want this. Okay. So
Right.
this is the Winning on Wednesday website. So over here, you see it
Uh-huh.
says Q,
Oh,
download app now.
yes.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. So all of the instructions are right here. All you have to do
Mhm.
is just
Oh.
scan whichever phone you have,
Okay.
all right? And that will automatically open up in your app store,
Okay.
and then
Yeah,
just
got it.
follow it. So you go to the create account buttons. All of this is on the homepage of Winning on Wednesday. So just go back to it, and then it'll explain to you everything that you need to do, how you work it. So you open it up, the code is WOW. You go to scan, you scan the code, and then add connection.
Is
It's
this
all-
just
it's
for
all
WOW
there.
people? Is this just for like,
Well, this is a networking app. So the nice thing, what we're hoping to do, and then what we're hoping to do is make it a lot easier so that when you're on WOW, all you have to do is just scan people's codes. You don't have to worry about the chat. You don't have to worry about any of
oh,
that.
gotcha. All right.
So this is also there when it says create your background. All the information is here. So for example, they're asking you for your code. You're gonna go to this. You're gonna just click on we've made it so super simple for everybody.
Uh-huh.
You pick the background that you want,
Okay.
the codes, and then you put that code in here. You put your name in here. You put your QID, which is that 6-digit code. You pick the color you want. If you want a different color different color badge, you click submit, and it will create the code for you. It'll create the background. All of this is on the website.
Okay.
Makes
I'll
it
check
super
out.
easy for you.
All right. Thank you.
And it's honestly, it's a lot easier because, when you're sitting in a breakout room, I was just saying, I have papers with little phone numbers on them that people are spending time, right, Mike? You're sitting in a breakout room and you want somebody's phone number. This way, all you have to do is just scan their code and you'll have it automatically in your, in your app.
Robin,
Yes, sir.
I want to thank you and Shannon for your support. This was very, very helpful. And I thank you again.
And we thank you again, always, it's been great. It's good seeing everybody. Have a great night. If you need more help, I'm happy to help you out. Marlon, I'll work on your background for you and send it over. And have a great night.
Have a
Thank
great
you, everybody.
night.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.